morning. Welcome to the Concord Township Board of Trustees meeting for October 15th, 2025. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Clerk, roll call, please.
Mr. McIntosh.
Present.
Mr. Dondorfer.
Present.
Mrs. Lucci.
Present. Moving on to the approval of minutes.
Madam Chair, I will make a motion to approve the September 17th, 2025 Trustees Office Hours Meeting Minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Madam Chair, I move to approve of the October 1st, 2025 Trustee Office Hour meeting.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye. Madam Chair, I will make a motion to approve the October 1st, 2025 regular Trustees Meeting Minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to the elected officials reports. Mr. Patriarch, fiscal officer.
Thank you, Mrs. Lucci. Fiscal office will be busy over the next few weeks. We plan to meet with all department heads in Concord to review 2026 budgets, make sure everything is on track, work through the needs, desires of each department head, see what's feasible within the budget, and make sure that we are going to be in a good position moving forward. So that will be priority number one as we look ahead over the next few weeks. A few items on the agenda that I do want to touch base on really quick. Item B, vote from Service Department PO for the purchase of a Bobcat T65 track loader in the amount of $72,378.25. This was budgeted before the year, similar to what we'll be doing over the next few weeks, at $75,000. So Service Director Tim Brown did a fantastic job coming in under budget and over delivering on the specs of that vehicle. So we're excited about that, looking for a favorable vote from the board. And also item E on the agenda, vote to authorize the fiscal office to enter into a lease agreement with Roll and Specialty Vehicles and Products for the acquisition of a rescue squad at the cost of $432,000. $432,000, just to provide a little bit of clarity for the board. This is going to be paid over a period of 5 years. The first payment commencing in October of 2026. So about 12 months from now will be the first of 5 equal payments of approximately $100,000. We do pay the small interest on that vehicle, but for cash flow purposes, we felt this was a prudent and good decision. We met with Chief and Deputy Chief over the past 6 months to build out the rescue squad that we are in desperate need of. And so we are similarly following along the budget for 2026. That money will be appropriated, and we continue to take a, I want to say cautious but conservative approach with some uncertainty in terms of property tax and our existing and renewing levy. So we'll look for a favorable vote on items D and E on the agenda. Other than that, it's been pretty status quo in the fiscal office. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Patriarca. Moving on to our trustees, Mr. McIntosh.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Don't actually have a lot to report. I was traveling the last couple weeks, so haven't been too engaged with the township. Did have a chance to deal with the resident complaint or concern. Spoke with someone the other day, did a drive-by on the house and took care of that. And I know we got a pretty busy schedule coming up with some meeting with commissioners, and county tax, property tax thing is still a hot button issue. And I know we'll be looking at the fiscal budget going forward, and we've had some inquiries about Station 2, so jumping right back into that concludes my report.
Mr. Dondorfer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, it's been a sort of quiet couple of weeks. I had a couple calls. One resident just had some concerns. He heard that we might be looking at the community-wide garbage removal, and I told him that I think that was coming back up. We had a discussion on that. We had a little bit of dialogue on the township's position in regards to community-wide garbage removal. And then I did have a question about property taxes, and I'm sure the resident that the county is paying attention to that when we'll be attending that meeting with the commissioners in the near future. Other than that, it was quiet. Nothing else.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. I want to thank the fire department and our recreation department for hosting our Fall Fest a few weeks ago. pretty good turnout. It's always great to have a large space like that for community to get together, so thank you to them. Yes, the continued emphasis on the property tax, while, you know, there's some new legislation that might be chipping away at some of the issues, it is still a big concern as to if it was abolished, what we would do for our essential services. We do ask that you continue to ask questions, stay informed, and know that it is a very important matter to all of us. I did receive a call from a resident regarding a pond and private property that our service department, Tim, and the county took time to go visit the resident and helped them with some issues that they were having. We also received some questions regarding the state of some of our recreation areas, and it's timely that we're involved in the comprehensive planning, because if we can gauge interest and maintain what you know, recreation community areas of priority, that does help us with access to grants and funding. So very timely that we're going through the comprehensive planning. And it's hard to believe that the end of October is upon us. The next time we meet, it will be in November. So I wish everyone a fun and safe Halloween. So with that, we'll move on to our department reports. Mr. Rose, our administrator.
Thank you, Mrs. Lucci, members of the board, Mr. Patriarca. Welcome back, Mr. Dines. Good to have you this evening. Members of the audience, I'll start with some items on the agenda. Item B is Resolution 2025 TAC 22, which renews our agreement for legal services for 2 more years. Item C is Resolution 2025 TAC 23, which adopts a cybersecurity policy. This is the policy that every community and entity, public entity, has to adopt a cybersecurity policy as required by House Bill 96, which was the budget bill. This was baked into that. Item D is a purchase order to Deuce and Bobcat North America in the amount of $72,378.25. That's for the purchase of the new Bobcat that was covered by Mr. Patriarca. Item E is the vote to authorize the fiscal officer to enter into a lease agreement for the acquisition of the new ambulance that he talked about during his report. And then I'm always excited, items F and G are votes to hire new part-time firefighters. So I'm encouraged by that, and I encourage a affirmative vote on those items. Moving on, I'm still holding a lot of discussions regarding this initiative to eliminate property taxes, and I'm watching as the state legislature has introduced, there's a flurry of bills. It feels like there's a bill a day being introduced by somebody related to property tax reform. A lot of them are in committee awaiting hearings. OTA has sent some updates on some, and we're waiting on some updates on other ones. But I'm getting, you know, I get asked just about daily, as I'm sure as you run across folks, is what do we do? What do we do if this happens? And I don't know the answer, and there's a lot of what ifs out there. So we'll see how this plays out over the next 12 months. A reminder, trick-or-treating throughout Concord Township is set for 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Friday, October 31st. I was in Columbus and doubling back to the State House. I was in Columbus on Monday, October 6th for the Cloud Executive Committee session. We discussed in length property tax reform initiatives, and I know that OTA and the cloud groups are asking for data to be submitted so that they can do some comparisons and look at some possible alternatives. And the other big discussion was regarding House Bill 361. Townships are not happy with the bill. I don't think any municipality is happy with this bill. This is the bill that puts automatic approvals onto zoning requests if they are not acted upon within certain timeframes. For zoning commission, it's 90 days, for the BZA, it's 30 days. And if they're not heard in that hard time frame, then they're automatically approved. And we're against that because there are legal notices that are required that take this issue past 30 days or past 90 days. There are public hearings that may be required for rezonings that would take it past 90 days, and there's no provisions in there if a developer decides he wants to table something to stretch it out longer. And it, quite frankly, while we have a great relationship with the developers that we've had here in Concord Township, this bill is heavily skewed towards favoritism to developers and really curtails our time frame and would likely cause special meetings to have to take place in between the regularly scheduled zoning commission, BZAs, and possibly trustee meetings, depending on if you had to have a public hearing for a rezoning. But more importantly, there needs to be some adjustments made that are not in the bill that talk about the legal notice requirements, and you have to notify in a certain time frame. You physically, in some of these instances, you physically cannot get it done in 30 days or 90 days. So we're hoping that the bill gets adjusted, tweaked, call it whatever you want, and gets revamped. So we're working hard on that particular issue. And then finally, cloud, we were disappointed by the soft recommendations by the Governor's Tax Reform Commission. We felt that they didn't go far enough, they didn't go deep enough. It was kind of a fluffy report, and it was disappointing, to say the least. So, and then finally, just a reminder that tomorrow is Coffee with the Administrator, so I'm looking forward to seeing folks, having discussions about all things Concord Township. It's always a great conversation, and it's tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. and it's held at our community center on Auburn Road. And that concludes my report.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rose. All right, moving into our audience portion. Anyone here that would like to speak? Okay, moving on to old business. Seeing there is none, we will move on to new business.
Sure. Madam Chair, move to approve the September financial report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-22, appointing Thrasher, Dinsmore, and Dolan, LPA, as the Law Director of Concord Township, effective January 1st, 2026, and authorizing the Chairperson of the Board of Trustees of Concord Township to enter into and execute a legal services agreement with Thrasher, Dinsmore, and Dolan's Company, LPA.
One other item, you have to waive the second. This is a limited home rule resolution, so this would go on first reading, and then you would vote on it at the next meeting, or you can include language to waive the second reading and pass it this evening. I believe, is that suspension of the rules or just a waiving of the second reading?
You can waive it or suspend, either or, and
Okay.
waive the second reading.
I would recommend
I
waiving.
would recommend that we waive the second reading.
So that would be incorporated into Mr. Dondorfer's motion.
Okay.
And I will second the motion of appointing Thrasher, Dinsmore, Dolan, LPA, as Law Director for Concord Township and waiving the second.
Any discussion?
I just think they've done a phenomenal job representing the township. We couldn't be happier. Very responsive, attentive, and a lot of faith in their services. So it's great to have them aboard.
It's hard to believe it's been time to renew a 2-year contract. But yeah, I would agree. It's been a very positive working relationship, and glad that we made that move, and definitely want to continue.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with their professionalism and how they promptly take care of issues, and I think we're in very good hands. All in favor?
Aye.
Move to approve Resolution 2025-23, resolution adopting a cybersecurity policy.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve Service Department PO for the purchase of a Bobcat T650 track loader in the amount of $72,378.25 to Duzen Bobcat North America Incorporated.
And I'll second.
Any discussion?
I appreciate Mr. Patriarcha's assistance to the department heads in being responsible fiscally with this, and that we can trust that this is a sound and reasonable purchase.
Just one question, are we getting it soon?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll get it soon, but first payment isn't until.
No.
No, that's the.
This-
That's
Bobcat's
the Bobcat, the Bobcat's readily
Oh,
available.
broadcast, right, okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
I move to authorize fiscal officer to enter a lease agreement with Roland Specialty Vehicles and Product Incorporated for the acquisition of rescue squad at the cost of $432,000.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion?
Just to provide a little more clarity on, I guess, the verbiage of the lease agreement, just so everybody understands, at the end of the 5-year lease period, the township has the ability to purchase that asset for a single dollar, so.
Capital lease.
Capital lease, so for all intents and
Yes.
purposes, I want to ensure that we understand that at the end of the 5-year lease term, that asset will, in a very all likelihood, remain an asset of the township.
Same
Yeah,
question, when do we get it?
Yeah, so that
20 to 24 months.
slightly longer than the Bobcat, and that's, it speaks to
Yeah,
the priority of this squad.
Right.
We've been talking about this for almost a year. And then from the point that we just started discussing building out the actual squad to when we get the approval, based on budgetary concerns, obviously, to when we will receive that squad makes, you know, the reason of that being a priority of the utmost importance.
I know when we had to make the budget work last year, one of the things we did was, push out this purchase because we
Yes.
wanted to make the budget in '24 work, and without the additional safety dollars that we tried to get in '23, we had to push off. So the window on this is, we very much need this. The fire department needs this desperately, this rescue rig. And as we know, the last 3 or 4 years, the cost of these things have nearly been doubled.
Yeah, and just to elaborate on it even more, you know, I think the board and chief and deputy chief have done a great job with their fleet, having located a used engine that we now put into service, just so we all understand, and so, you know, the residents understand the time frame for a new engine build out is closer to 36 months. And the
Correct.
price tag on those, which were closer to 700 to 750K a few years ago, now we're looking over about 1.1 to 1.2 million.
Yep.
And no sign of those costs coming down anytime soon. And so while that need is there, we recognize that, we would love to move on that. Right now, we're just being a little more cautious with our budget and our projected plans over the next few years. So another potential purchase is on the horizon, and the need for those assets, those vehicles, you don't just say, hey, we need a new engine, let's go out and buy it, we'll have it tomorrow. That's just not realistic. And so in terms of planning, not only from what the fire department needs to operate in a safe manner, it also needs to fall into a timeline of what our budget looks like. So we'll continue to monitor that, recommendations will be made, but hopefully that provides a little bit of light in terms of the current fleet and what the time frame looks like when we want to add to that fleet.
yeah, a lot to strategize.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye. Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the fire department approval conditional offer of employment to Kenneth Filipiak for the position of part-time firefighter, EMT basic pending background check and physical.
Second.
Any discussion?
It's nice to see a candidate in front of us.
Yeah.
Welcome, Mr. Filipiak.
Can't really say no.
Welcome to Concord Township, I'm sure you'll do well here.
I personally had an opportunity to meet Mr. Filipiak outside of my role in Concord Township, and I think we've done this is a good thing. I'm really glad to see that he's going to find a home here in Concord, or at least part of our crew, so very enthusiastic.
We have a habit of attracting excellent people.
You do.
All in favor?
Aye.
Move to approve fire department conditional offer of employment to Christopher Jordan for the position of part-time firefighter EMT basic pending background check and physical.
And I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. Patriarca, future meetings and announcements, please.
Absolutely. October 20th at 3 p.m., staff meeting here at Town Hall. On October 31st, Halloween, as Administrator Rose spoke about in his report, from 6 to 8 p.m. will be trick or treat across Concord Township. On November 4th, 7 p.m., we'll have zoning commission meeting here at Town Hall. Also, a quick reminder, that is election day, so if you need to get, to the voting polls, get there before work, after work, during lunch, whatever you need. And then November 5th from 5 to 6 p.m., we'll have our next trustee office hours in the conference room, followed immediately by trustee meeting at Town Hall.
All right. Thank you, everybody. This concludes our meeting for this evening. Have a good rest of your week.
Good